How's it going, everybody? I was bored, man. Decided to take a little drive. I don't know if you can see it on the cam. That wind's howling out there. That lake's rolling right now. I'd say some of them waves is 2.5 feet high, probably. And it's only getting maybe, I don't know, let's see, maybe 1.5 miles of fetch, I'd say. So you know the wind's blowing good to make waves that big in just 1.5 miles of fetch. For those of you who don't know, fetch is be like the distance the wind's traveling across the water, sort of. I think that's what it is. Hey, look, lady, how's it going, man? But fetch, I used to surf on the Great Lakes, and most people don't know you can surf on the Great Lakes, but from the top of the lake down, I forget how many miles it is. I'm thinking maybe 300 miles. So this is a prime example right here. When you get a 15-mile-an-hour wind over 300 miles of lake, the fetch creates the waves. So by the time it gets to the south end of the lake, I mean, you're talking 6, 8, 10-foot waves out in the lake. And by the time they get to the shore and start breaking, they're usually 5 to 6 feet. Anything bigger than that, you wouldn't be able to paddle out anyway because of the duration between the waves. A wind wave compared to, say, an ocean wave. An ocean wave, you may have 4 to 5 seconds between each wave, so you have to duck dive through the one. You get up, you paddle, and hope you get it past where it's breaking, and if you don't, you duck dive again. Well, on the Great Lakes, you're not afforded that opportunity. The paddle out's the hardest part of lake surfing because the wave period is so short. It's maybe 2 seconds, 3 at the most. So you're, getting continuously pounded by waves until you can finally just fight your way past. But a lot of times up there, if there's a jetty, for instance, we'll walk all the way out on the jetty and then just jump in the lake and catch waves out there and not take it all the way into the shore. But I don't know how I got off on that tangent. Look, lady, how you doing, man? It's finally got winter time here at home, and I'm so tired of being in the house, man. I decided to come out, drive over here. This is the lake I carp fished at all summer. And like I said, I don't think you can zoom in with this, but man, I'm telling you, that lake's rolling out there. For no longer than the lake is, like where I'm sitting to the end of the lake down there's about 1 mile, and some of them waves are 2 feet. That's trough to top of where it's breaking. And so the wind's blowing pretty good to create that kind of wave in such a short distance. It is cold. I went and strapped a Mountain Dew up on my luggage rack for that when I drive around, it'll get cold. And I was standing out there strapping it on, and I don't know why. I'm an idiot. I got on a pair of tennis shoes and some ankle socks. You know what I mean? You'd think it was the first time I ever went out driving around in the wintertime. God forbid I was to get stuck or something break down. I'm an idiot. Hey, Buck, how you been, man? You can see the white caps. Yeah, it's gnarly out there right now. For such a short lake, that's a pretty good blow right there. Actually, it's some of the biggest I've ever seen. But I've never been out here much in the wintertime. I remember being a kid. There's a swimming area down there about 1/2 mile or so, and I can remember being a kid in the summer storms would come in almost straight across from where we're at, from southwest, and they would blow kind of northeast. And I can remember, when the front would come in before the storm, we would be at the beach area and get, 2.5 foot waves and stuff for maybe 15 minutes or so. It looks pretty anyway. Kind of reminds me of going surfing up on the Great Lakes, because this is the kind of weather they surf in up there, to be honest with you. You got to have a really good wetsuit, maybe a 5 mil around the core of your body and 3 mil, on your arms and legs. And I've walked through the snow to go surfing before. It's not anything I'd make a habit of doing. Sheila, bad idea with the Mountain Dew. Nah, I do it all the time. It's one of the little plastic 12-ounce plastic bottles or 16, and it'll turn into a slush. Then I'll drink a slushy. I'm not driving. I'll take it down before I start driving. It's strapped on there with a Velcro strap. It won't come off. You know how the bottle tapers in the down towards the end there where it's thinner than the rest of the bottle. That's where it's wrapped around that. If I remember to take it off anyhow. Yeah, it's pretty cool looking out there actually. This is the boat ramp the only boat ramp on. It's a small lake, 12,000 acres or something like that, I think the sign said. But this is the only place you can put in. There's a 14-inch bass limit size and 14-inch walleye size. So I'm guessing you can't keep anything under that size, I would say. Yeah, Sheila, I used to surf on Lake Michigan. I surfed on Erie. Is that the one over by, where that Cleveland's on? I surfed on it, I think, with some guys from Cleveland a few times. But yeah, most people don't know you can surf on the Great Lakes. They've been doing it since the 60s. If you Google Third Coast Surf Shop, THIRD, Third Coast Surf Shop, it's in St. Joseph, Michigan. And it was one of the first surf shops ever, built or opened up on the lakes. I think it was back in 2000 maybe. And back then, you'd go surfing and the crowd would be 6 or 7 people. And it was always maybe 10, 12. It was always the same group of people you'd see. Because unlike now with all the webcams and stuff, you'd have to watch the forecast, the weather buoy forecast. And I would check them 3 or 4 days ahead because it's a 3-hour drive up there for me or so. That's the bottom end. And if it's a south wind, then you'd have to go up to the northern end. But you become an amateur weatherman and try to determine the optimum time to get there because sometimes the waves may only last 3 or 4 hours. And you would have to predict, sometimes you drive all the way up there and you get it wrong or the forecast would be wrong. Nowadays with cell phones, for instance, if I was going up there now, I could check the live buoys and see if it was coming up or dropping. Well, if the swell was dropping, I'd know I missed it and I'd just go ahead and turn around and go home. But yeah, people don't understand, man. The Great Lakes are gnarly. I mean, there's sometimes you can drive by there and see, out towards the middle of the lake and stuff, you can see 20, 25-foot waves crashing out there. It's scary. I mean, there's a really good video on here about shipwrecks on the Great Lakes that I watched. I think it's an hour and a half, 2 hours long. It's really interesting. There's been a lot of boats go down, ocean-going boats. Yeah, I know where Zion's at. Kenosha, I've been there. Sheboygan's my favorite place in Wisconsin to go surfing. There's a really core community of surf guys there that started back in the 60s. And then on Lake Michigan, I like St. Joe's, probably my favorite place on the south end. And then up north of the Sleeping Bear Dunes up there, there's a little town called Franklin or Frankfurt, one of those. I was in Germany in Frankfurt, so it may be Franklin. I don't remember. But it has a pretty good little surf break there, and there was a nice little old school, 1-story hotel or motel place you could stay there. A lot of walleye fishermen stay there. I love the Great Lakes. I would live up there if I could. Oh, is it Yak? Yeah, man. Lake Michigan's the best kept secret in the United States is the shoreline of Lake Michigan because it's awesome. The beaches are just wonderfully pretty. And Wisconsin has some really good beaches too. Oh yeah, Buck, I'll bet. Yeah, the sailboats. If it was summer right now, there's one guy around here that kiteboards. He would be out here, I would suppose, if it was summer. And there's a sail club down there. We'll drive down that way in a little bit. I'm about done sitting here. I actually come out here. I got a Bible I got that you start on January 1st and you read it, and by December 31st you've read the whole Bible. And I'm like 2 days behind, so I come out here and I'll find somewhere park and catch up on it. And I got a daily devotional I'm a day behind on that I need to read. Yeah, Yak Frankfurt. I think you're right, man. I lose track of the chat. I'm sorry. I'm really not good at this stuff. Hey, Alvin Lewis, how are you, buddy? Sorry I didn't see you guys come in and stuff. I'm the worst at this kind of thing right here. Believe me, my lives fishing are just literally horrible. I've caught more fish without being live and forget to turn it on than I actually have live videos of. And I just wish you could make this screen bigger. Got gold, huh? That's interesting. I tell you another really cool place, and it's kind of a pretty good secret, is the UP of Michigan is. I mean, it's not really populated. You know what I mean? There's a lot of wilderness and stuff there. But bring your bear spray up there. I'm telling you, I got a thing of bear spray over in the door pocket over here on the passenger side. It's been there for years. I took a motorcycle trip. I went up. I only made it up to Grand Haven, and I got a vintage motorcycle that I ride, and it's a 1984 Moto Guzzi, and the carburetor started leaking. And it's not like you're going to just stop at any store, any motorcycle shop, and get a carburetor rebuild kit for a 1984 Moto Guzzi California 2 Classic. So I hit a campgrounds and hung out for the week, and my buddy got off work, and him and another dude brought a Sprinter van up, picked me up that Saturday. No kidding, Yak. Do you still live in Michigan now? I love it up there, man. I'm telling you, I would move there in a heartbeat. You know, I take care of my parents right now. I don't know if some of you people here may not know me or anything, but my dad's got cancer, and I've been taking care of my parents for a few years. And when they're gone, I plan on cruising around. There's a lot of people I want to go fishing with, and I'd like to take some trip up to UP and camp out and stuff. I don't know if there's ice under this snow. That's the only thing I'm kind of worried about getting. You know, some of the places I'd usually pull off around here, I don't want to drive back. You know, the kind of gravel roads goes back, and you can park and see the lake and stuff. But there's ice underneath this because it was 34 degrees when it started snowing the other day, so it was real wet and slushy. And then the temperature dropped, the wind blew, and this little bit of snow come on top of it. So there's no traction under here right now. What part of Tennessee, Yak? Hey, Martin, how are you, buddy? A popcorn farm, cool, Buck. I like the idea of that. When I was a kid, my neighborhood was like in the country, and you know how even small cities grow out. So it's not really, there's a Walmart by it now, but it was like out in the country, and they always grew field corn is what we called it. It was, you know, more like cattle and stuff like that. And we used to play in the cornfields, man, in the summertime. And it'd get fall time, it'd get ears of corn would get hard, you know what I mean? And we would go out there and pick a couple dozen of them and play grenades with them and stuff. or shell them into, like a big bowl and throw them out in the road and stuff kids do. Martin, it ain't gonna be too long I get to meet you, is it? I know Eric would be able to tell us exactly how many days because he's been counting it down, but my brain's way too old for that stuff. Mackinac Island, yeah, my son, his wife, her dad, and them rent a big old house out on that island every summer, and they went there the last couple summers for a week. 26 days, cool. I'm a real estate appraiser, and first they raised the rates, which kind of hurt things, and then wintertime, usually from beginning of December till about March, my work is just slow, dead slow. I think I've done 3 appraisals in the last month, and that's usually 3 to 4 a week. So it's tight. I'm not staying down there this year. I'm just going to drive down for the day. There's a seagull out there. But this summer, we got this little fishing boat. I don't know. I may have a video on here somewhere of it. And I got a little 3.5 horse motor. And I'm actually going to bring it out here and put it in this year. I was just too lazy last summer because Dad's bone cancer diagnosis happened at the end of May, I think it was. And really kind of just throws your life out of whack. You know what I mean? It's hard to motivate to do stuff and get excited and happy about things when something like that happens. It just throws you for a real spin. So I didn't really, the only thing I'd done was mainly bank fish this year. So hopefully my mind will be in a better place this coming summer. Because there's good catfish in. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's nothing like those blues and stuff down in them guys catch on the James River or Potomac or nothing. But there's, the guy used to own the bait house over here, owns a bait house in town now. He had that bait house, I'm going to say, for 30 years out here. And he said that he's seen more than one 20-pound channel cat come out of here. Where my personal best is 10.8. And it may have been 11 pounds, but my scale kept dropping. It was real late at night. I'm like, we'll call it 10.8. It was the first big catfish I ever caught, actually. DTEB, what's up, Ernest Brown? That's good to see you, buddy. How are you? How's Mama? I talked to Mama earlier today on one of the lives. I'm out here living the good life, I reckon. Yeah, there's a line of wave right there. It's got to be 2 feet high. How cool. It makes a guy want to get in shape and go surfing again. I couldn't go right now, even if I wanted to. I'm so out of shape, it'd give me a heart attack. Hey, yeah, sure, man. Brother, I appreciate you stopping in saying, hey, man, I didn't know if anybody'd be around this afternoon or not. I actually just turned it on and thought, well, I'd like, because I don't see this on this lake like this very often. It's whitecap and good. I'm like, man, I'm going to document some of that. Well, I sure appreciate you coming in and hanging out. Oh, so you're going to come to CatCon, Sheila? Cool. I know you are, if you're that close. Hi, Chrissy. I'm glad y'all stopped in. I don't know how well you can see them whitecaps out there, but that lake's moving today. I couldn't be out there in my little boat, I know that. Well, I could if I was going north, I'd be all right, but coming back up this way would be kind of tough. In fact, it'd probably sink it. Because the boat's actually plastic, and it's got styrofoam in it. It's called a bass tender. It's 11.3 feet. It's a perfect little boat for, pan fishing and the small lakes and stuff like this here. and it's gotta be 30 years old, probably. I'd say pretty close, and not sure, but I think the foam may be a little waterlogged in it because God knows how many holes Dad's drilled in that over the years. And he plugs them up, with silicone, but that the moisture's still going to get in there. Because I was trying to remember, I need to dig some pictures up so I can look at the water line with two people in it, you know what I mean? And see how low it was sitting in the water. And then look at the pictures last year when me and Pop had it out and, see if it's actually sitting lower in the water. I think it is, but I don't really have a reference right now. Eric, what up, dude? Oh, Sheila, grab a pen. I'll give you my email. It's real easy. Let me know when you get one, and so you can email me about that. I actually was just looking at Harlan on the Google Maps yesterday. Where I think this year they're going to have the stir off, and I think it's going to be the last one. They've done it forever, and I don't know, some of y'all may not be country folks, but a stir off, they take sugar cane, run it through a press, and the juice comes out, and they have this long tub, square tub with a fire built under it, and you just keep stirring it and stirring it and stirring it until eventually you make molasses. When all the green quits showing, you got molasses, and it's good then. But if you don't stir it enough to where it burns all the, I don't know what it is that makes it green, but if you don't stir it enough, it'll be bitter. But the family used to have a stir off every year. It was more a family reunion, but they done a stir off just to, because that's what country people did. But I think this year is going to be the last one. But my email is b.wedmore, WEDMORE, at Comcast.net. And I know you ain't supposed to do that over the internet, but like I care, man. You won't come rob me, I ain't got nothing. You'd be so pitiful, you'd leave me money. In fact, my buddy's hooking us up on a house because Dad, he didn't take care of the house. And evidently, it had termites in it years ago. I didn't know anything about all this stuff till I got here, but a lot of the floor joists is ate up and they start to sag. And the location it's in and how much they owe on it it's just not financially feasible to redo this house. To be honest with you, the best thing to do with it would be to level it and put a modular or a new house there. So we're going to move. Yeah, Buck, maple syrup. Yep, that's cool, isn't it? There's a place, they used to have a maple syrup festival. I'm trying to remember where that was now. We used to go to all that kind of stuff when I was a kid. They have a covered bridge festival in Southwest Indiana, and a place there called Billy Creek Village, and it's like a colonial little village thing or whatever. And back in 1976, and the only reason I can remember it's 1976 is because it was the bicentennial year. But there was a guy there who made axe handles and hatchet handles by hand. You'd pick a piece of wood and use them draw knives. You know what I'm talking about? And he would, when it got down to the end for your hand, he'd have you hold it and he'd keep, trimming it until it fit your hand real well. And I got 3 of them axe handles still. 2 of them for big splitting axe handles, and then one's for like a trimming axe. They're solid, and I'd love to find someone to make a head for the trimming axe one and mount it on there and stuff for me, because I don't know anything about it. But they're irreplaceable. Okay, Sheila, you got your pen? I'll give it to you again. It's b.wedmore, WEDMORE, at Comcast.net. So if any of y'all know anyone that, does forging and stuff like that, that makes axe heads and stuff, uh, hook me up with them. I'd love to get somebody to make a head for that trimming axe. The splitting axes, I can just put a regular head on, you know what I mean? But that little trimming handle, I'd love to just keep it for camping and, as a memento thing from being a kid. There you go, Buck. Thanks, buddy. But I'll tell you what, if you just smack someone upside the head with one of these handles, they're solid. They've been seasoning for, what, 50 years almost, I guess, 76 to now. We used one of them because we heated with wood when I was a kid. We were kind of poor, but my brother was blind in one eye and he'd miss a lot, and eventually it wore the handle right by the axe head, had probably an inch, broke all out of it over time, but it never broke. Okay, see you, Sheila. I see you, honey. Thanks so much. What's Josh, Eric? Buck, man, dude, do you know how many people I've told that, and half of them can't figure out that it's. I mean, they can't find it. I don't know. I've told everyone I told you it's on my about page. I don't know if people just don't know what an about page is. You know what I mean? But I've done it. I don't know how many times I've said that. Yeah, just go on the about page. You can't miss it. Like I said, I don't care if it's out there. You know what I mean? I ain't got nothing anybody wants. And if they were to try to steal my identity, they're going to find out that they wasted their time because ain't nobody going to give them a credit card in my name. Like I said, they'd probably feel so bad they'd send me money in the mail. But there's a lot more important things in life than money. I got my parents. We wasn't raised a lot of money, but I had love in my family. And there's a lot of people who don't see their parents or don't talk to them and stuff. You know what I mean? And that's sad. Anything on this planet, you should never ever walk away from your parents. Well, I shouldn't say that. I guess there's people that have really bad parents. I shouldn't say that. I was just a lucky human being. I know a lot of really unhappy rich people, and I'm blessed to be able to do what I'm doing right now. Don't get me wrong. There's days I want to bang my head on the wall, and some days it's hard. But overall, when my pop's gone, I'll be glad I did what I did because there ain't no do-overs. I think about 8 years ago, I lived in Noblesville, the suburb north of Indy there. And my mom calls me and says, your dad's got colon cancer. And that's a smack in the face. He beat that cancer, though. But I remember hanging up the phone and sitting there, and I was thinking to myself, when is the last time you've done anything with your dad? I didn't. I absolutely could not remember how long. That's how long it had been. You get busy raising kids, building your profession, and all that crap. And I promised myself that day that I'd never ever have to ask myself that question again. And a year or so after that, the chemo and stuff kind of messed his brain up a little bit, and mom was having problems. You know how two people been married for 60 years or whatever. You know how it is. They get to, hard-headed. He don't want to listen to nobody. So she asked me if I could help them. I'm like, yeah, I'll come over. It's not a problem. Looks like maybe we'll see the sun again sometime today. It was sunny as all get out this morning. I know, Buck. I'm with you, brother. I appreciate it. Like I said, some people just can't uh, see it sometimes. I don't know. Hey, Art, and see you, buddy. I can't see that screen real well because it's starting to get bright. I don't know if the camera picks that up or not, but because of the snow and it's lightening up out there, that screen's real dark. I guess we could drive around to the other lake. It's, I don't know, about 10 minutes from here, maybe. I ain't real sure how the county roads are, though, because it's all back roads to get there. I'd heard something on the news about them drifting, but oh well, we'll go by there and see. Let me check how cold my Mountain Dew is. Nope, it ain't cold enough. We leave it up there. We just drive slow. If it comes off and hits somebody's car, I got insurance. And if they've never had a slushy Mountain Dew, they're not going to understand anyhow. Let's see if we got everything. Yep. I miss my little. Before this, I had little Chevy Blazers. I had a couple of different ones throughout the years. 4-wheel drive. This little Ford Escape, 2-wheel drive, but because of my work, I have to drive around, see houses and stuff. This thing gets like 32 miles to the gallon. It's one of them little hybrids, shuts itself off and on. And I miss the 4-wheel drive on days like this because I wouldn't even worry about going out to county roads. I can see that road ahead of me. It's a county road, but we ain't going that way. The east and west roads be drifting. But what's the worst thing that could happen? Get stuck in the snow. Yeah, but when I drink milk, I don't drink a lot of chocolate milk, but between me and my dad, we drink about 2 gallons of milk every 3 days, maybe. And I put ice in my cup because I have my milk ice cold. Yeah, Eric, man, you're young, dude. If you can, you fish with your pop every chance you get. Don't get me wrong. I understand as they get older, it sure can be frustrating. These last 2 times I took Pop, he drove me crazy, wouldn't wear a life jacket. Oh, swim to the shore. I'm like, dude, you're 83 years old with bone cancer. How on earth are you going to swim to the shore? So I finally had to just say, I'm going to tell you what, if you don't put life jacket on, we got them Bass Pro Shop ones that it's self-inflate. It ain't like they bother you much. But I told him, if you don't put it on, we're not going fishing. Oh, that's starting to freeze over there. Is that bouncing? Let me know if that's bouncing too much, man. Because if it is, I can move it down and rest it on the dash, but it won't. You'll have to see the mount crap like that. Doesn't look as good. Well, coming up on my carp fishing spot up here, where I usually fish most of the summer. Yep, it's that next turn, and you couldn't even turn in there if you wanted to. They got snow pushed up. And the little spot right there is where I catch them white bass to take over to Anderson, use for bait. And it's about, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 inches long, and you can catch one about every cast. Yeah, there's a lot of people fish or crappie fish in docks there, but you can only do it with a boat. It's the Sail Club, so to say, Muncie, Indiana Sail Club. But you're not allowed to get on docks or walk around the bank and stuff. It's all private, supposedly. Which I do more bluegill fishing than I do crappie, and we usually go down southern Indiana to the strip pits. Back in the 20s, they stripped coal off the land down there, and the deal was if they were permitted to strip the coal, well, then they had to reclaim the land and stock the pits. And there's probably 1,000 of them down there. One of them's a state park, and they'll be like, you had to go down 30 feet, and then the bottom of them was as flat as a pool table. But they hold great bluegill, big bluegill and red ears, and that's usually where we go. Yeah, we'll turn here and see what it looks like down by the dirt bike trails. I got a dirt bike trail area down here on this end of the lake where I learned to ride dirt bikes at when I was a kid. There's a group about 6 or 7 old guys, probably they got in their 70s now, I'd say, but they come out here and ride every Sunday at 10 a.m. And they got trail marked, and they'll ride 27 miles about, and they'll load up and go home. I need to go out riding with them. It sure helped me probably feel a little better. My new dirt bike, man, I got a lowering link for the back suspension. I need to send the forks off and get them lowered about 1.5 or 2 inches because it's too tall for me. Now that I'm fat, I have a hard time getting on it. When I was young, it didn't bother me. Or usually at the start of the race, I had a little pad that I put my foot on anyway, for the start. But nowadays, it's not how to get on and off of it. And my riding gear seemed to have shrunk in the last 5 years. It used to fit really nice, and now I can't hardly get to bridges fast. Because for a while, there was a team in Westfield, Indiana, 2000, about 2007. No, it would have been 2009. Because in 06, I bought my Yamaha from them. And every year we'd get pants, jerseys, helmet, gloves, a sweatshirt, and something else for like $240 or something, which was just, all right, that's a smoking deal. And they'd said Westfield Yamaha and stuff on them. That's all the riding gear I got left. I don't buy any anymore, but I'm going to have to if I plan on going riding this year. This little bridge right here, up to about 5 years ago, it used to come here and it'd go up about 15 feet, real steep, level off, and then go back down. There used to be railroad tracks there. It was old iron bridge, with the steel beams across the top and everything. And I don't know when they redone it. I haven't been down this way in a long time. Back now, the house is there. It was there. old, doesn't it? This lake we're going to now, I fished it some this summer at the state park. I got my park pass, but I seriously doubt there's anybody at the gate right now. Yeah, it may be closed. If you come think of it, I don't know. I think they ice fish it when there's ice, but there hasn't been no ice yet. A little gas station right there. We used to go there after riding. We'd pull in and a little deli make ham and cheese sandwiches. And they'd slice the ham while you was there, and they'd slice it as thick as you wanted it. I think it's owned by Towheads now, though. Yeah, I said that. I'm sorry. Shoot me. There ain't a gas station I found in these are out in the country gas stations. Used to be little family-owned gas stations. Oh. I like how you got country people wave at you. I can't see the chat, fellas, or ladies and gentlemen, or whatever. I can't see that chat, so if you said something to me or whatever, I apologize. I suppose I could have put that link thing up, but it'd take me 5 minutes to figure out how to do it. Eric, you still in there? I always wanted an A-frame house when I was a kid for some reason. I thought that was cool. All right, fellas. Just standing there waiting on dinner, are you? Yeah. Oh, it's bouncing a lot now. Let's try and bring her down here a little bit. Take some of the bounce out of it. See if that helps. I imagine by the time I get to the park, Mountain Dew ought to be pretty cold, I think, wouldn't you? You want me to throw the link up, Eric? You want to come up and talk? Just let me know. I'll pull over up here and figure out how to do it. Are you working? Buddy of mine owns a house out here. There's natural gas wells. You know, I mean, they found them or whatever, but they one on his property gets his gas for free. Okay, let's see. Is this my road? No, that's not my road. Yeah, boy, it's getting a little interesting here. Okay, no worries, brother. Oh, yeah. Maybe it drifted a little bit out in the county today. Go from 8 inches on the road to pavement. I like it out here. An auction, maybe. Looks like they're going to have an auction. No, just a big for sale sign. That's a big old place. Yeah, I'm afraid that exceeds my budget. Be nice to live out here, but I don't think I can afford nothing like that. Maybe half the garage. Hey, Dudson, how you doing, buddy? I didn't see you come in there. Lee Evans, what's up, buddy? I didn't see you neither. My bad. I'm out here country cruising because I was so tired of being in the house. I had to get outside. that much. It was right back here. Don't think of it. Years ago, I was a young appraising man. I think this is my road right here. And it might get interesting from here on out. I don't know. It looks all right. We're going to cruise down Messick Road, going towards Summit Lake State Park. I might see some deer right through here. Me and Pop used to come out cruising through here on Sunday afternoon. End up in a little town over here about 20 miles from here called Spiceland. Sparky's Doghouse. We'd stop there and eat lunch and have a couple beers and head home. I got to turn my heat down a little bit. It's getting warm in here. Driving down here, I like it because you don't have to worry about people getting behind you and you have to pull over and let them by because I ain't really in no hurry to get nowhere. Because I ain't got nowhere to be and I got the rest of my life to get to that place. Hey Eddie, how you doing, buddy? I'm out here country cruising today. Just trying to get out of the house for a while. I don't know what the temperature is, but with that wind blowing, it's cold. I know that. The old box mom view, okay? Watch me drive all the way over here and then have the gate closed at the park. But it happens. Country folk, gotta love. Get out here, people still wave at you and say hi. Get in town where I live, they scroll at you and wonder what you're looking at. Everybody seems to be in a bad mood where I live at for some reason. But I suppose if I had to live there by choice, I'd be in a bad mood too. I flew out here. Yeah, got a little snow drifting here. Be careful on some of them out here. I was over at the lake a little bit ago. Whitecapping real good, but that parking lot, there's probably half-inch ice underneath that snow. So if you wasn't careful, there's a good chance you just sit there and go nowhere real quick. Now, it'd be nice if you could zoom in with StreamYard, you know what I mean? Because if I see some deer out there across the field or something, I could zoom in on them, but I don't think you can do that. Old graveyard up here somewhere I always want to stop and look at the gravestones at. Because the way it looks, the best I can tell, there ain't been nobody buried in it since probably 1930. There it is right there. It's a real little one. Rogersville Cemetery, established in 1834. Yeah, I bet there's some really old tombstones in there. Central Indiana Land Trust. Rogersville Cemetery, Prairie Nature Preserve. You know, one of these days I'm going to stop, go up there and read them tombstones. I've been saying that for 30 years now. after the turn here, the first place on the right, a buddy of mine, parents owned it, and when they built the state park reservoir back here, they took part of their land back behind them because their driveway used to dead end. We used to dirt bike back here when we were in our 20s, and it's a dead end now. It's not even really a road. That's their driveway, I'd say. But the state, eminent domain part of their land, the low spot back in there from when they flooded to make the reservoir. Uncle Lou, there's a good chance if you guys aren't real nice, there's the old saying, 3 G's, or 2 G's and an A. If you don't provide one, you got to get out. This is a nice area out here. I'm between Muncie, Indiana, and Newcastle, Indiana, at Summit Lake State Park. It's not real big. It used to be a good bluegill lake. I think it got a little overfished. I don't know when they built this. I think they built it back in the 80s, maybe. And then throughout the 90s, when it got good, word got out and it got kind of overfished. Then people come in, take 2 coolers full of bluegill out for no reason. And never once think about what it does to the fish population. The strip pits I was talking about that we've been going fishing at for 40-some years, whatever, bluegill fishing, I can remember, plain as day, remember seeing these guys taking big coolers full of fish out every week. We go there for vacation for like 2 weeks or whatever. And I even ask them, don't y'all think that's bad for a lake to take that many fish out of it one time? If you and everybody else does, what do you think it'll do to the lake in 30 years? And it used to be you could go there and fish any point and just catch the biggest bluegill you could ever seen. Keep 6 or 8 of them to eat that night at camp. And find a big bluegill now, you got to work at it. Fortunately, the electronics, you can find the points and stuff. But they ruined it. I remember saying something to some guy, I got grandkids, and probably I was young, so I have grandkids someday that probably want to come here, like I brought my kids, and they'll never see them big bluegill I seen. Or red ears, I get down south, y'all call them shell crackers or whatever, which I don't get that. I don't know what it means, shell crack, but they track mussel shells or something. There must be a lane goes back to the lake right there because there's 2 no parking signs. I'm going to have to look that up on the map. Yep, you're going to need the heavy coat and the boots if you're going to get out and walk today, Uncle Lou, because this wind is howling when you get out away from this cover right here. That little lake where I carp fished all summer, it was white cap, and I bet there was 2-foot waves rolling across it. I better stop up at this next intersection and check on my Mountain Dew and see what the status is. It should be good and cold by now. Like it to get slushy. And the summer when it was hot, I'd come out here fishing and be, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. My kid escaped me like, what you coming in so early for? I say, because I'm fat and I sweat in the sun when it's hot. I fish late at night, early in the morning. I like the buck. I agree. Now I gotta admit though, down south where they got them hills, I'm telling you, if they got some of the snows like we got, I wouldn't leave the house. I ain't so much worried about going up the hill as I am coming down them. I used to laugh at people with 4-wheel drive. Well, it's all right. I got 4-wheel drive. Like, yeah, but it doesn't stop any sooner than a 2-wheel drive does. Oh, shoot. I was going to check my pop. Oh, well, stay parking stuff here a little bit. In fact, everything has been on the right side of the car since we made that turn where I said my friend's parents live is that state park. It's not real big, but there's a creek. I wonder where that comes in at down there. I need to look at that on the map too. Let's see what time it is. 2:38. Oh, or 6, 1, 2. 2:39 now. Okay. Sure, that wind blowing the car over right here. We'll pull on in a little ways before we check them out. It's a little too windy right here. Yeah, there's an office over there, a car parked there. No need for me to go up there. I got park pass. They can come find me if they want to, I reckon. Property closes at 11 p.m. in the winter time. You want to come ice fish at night? That's just not really right. Right here in front of me, these 3 little trees. When I'd come here at like 3 or 4 in the morning, there'd be a deer standing right there every day. I don't know if the kid in the guard shack back here, was putting food out for it or what, but every morning when I come through there, that deer would be standing there. Let's see. We'll probably go check the South Boat Ramp first. It ain't slushy, but it's cold. Of course, I'm in my cup. Heck, I forgot I got some Pringles. We'll have to get on them. That was a good idea. $13.39. What's $13.39? Well, the water's still in a liquid state. It ain't been cold long enough to make anything solid, I reckon. Even back here out a little bit, about 20, 30 feet of the shoreline in that cove. There's got a thin glare over it. I forgot about these little lines in the road. Sounds like you're going across the whoopty-doos on a motocross track. Harvey Shelter, Stout Boat Ramp, boat rentals, and the camp store. I don't suppose any of them are happening right now, I'd say. It just looks cold up there. Jeez, ooh. You know, and that, it looks like that water's down a bunch. And there's no causeway here or anything that opens and closes. I wonder why it's so low. Oh, my seatbelt. Okay, shut up. I hear you. Nabbit. Nobody cares about a seatbelt. Yeah, that little island out there, it looks like that water's down about 6 or 7 feet. That's a lot. Hey, Henry, how are you? I'm at Summit Lake State Park in Indiana. It's between Muncie and Newcastle, Indiana. "14-inch size limit on largemouth bass. Idle speed only on lake. No parking on the ramp. For fishing tournament permit, contact the park office." All right, I have to remember that. I can raise my thing back up now. Y'all won't be bouncing around. There you go. That's better. Yeah, Buck, I already got it, buddy, and I done poured some in the cup. It wasn't quite slushy yet, but it was cold. Oh, I can't believe how far down that water is. Huh. I wonder why. And there's straight across there's the dam. And it does look like it has a little, cement pier. Maybe they are able to open it up a little bit or something. I don't know, but not much. I mean, because that lake's way down. In my cruise, I ain't drove through campgrounds for years. We drive over in a little bit. Hear that wind coming through there a little bit now. Next, all them geese and stuff that's here in the summertime give me a hard time. They must have flew down south, I reckon. Oh, I got cheddar sour cream Pringles. Excellent. Now the reservoirs up north, they always, but they're big reservoirs, you know, with speedboats and stuff. I got a mouthful of Pringles, and they bring them down every winter, almost, you know, to river level, which is good. You can drive up there and see where that river flows through the middle of that lake for summertime. But this one here, it's not big enough for them to really let anything out. I emailed the DNR and asked them about it, because they're actually pretty good about getting back with you. I had a question about them white bass and using them as cut bait. And they said as long as I caught them on a pole, I could use them. They, them white bass, man, that gill plate or whatever, the edge of their gill, it's sharp as all get out. I have never seen anything about, you know, the only thing I ever fished for was bluegill. So I started catfishing, but I almost sliced my finger open with it. Yeah, I drive over and go through the campgrounds if they ain't got the gate closed. I ain't been through it probably 20 years. Kids work here mowing grass this year told me right here by that tree right in front of me, he said out here was a pretty decent place to be catfishing at night. He said he worked here mowing grass and his dad was a park ranger or something. Yeah, see, that lake's down enough that you couldn't see them small tree stumps sticking up in the summertime. And they're sticking out 3 feet, probably 4. But yeah, but every time I came here, there was somebody sitting here fishing. I was like, oh man, what you gotta do? Get here at midnight maybe and just sit here. There's a boat ramp over here somewhere, I think. Yeah, back the big reservoirs up north, that's what those are too. That's why they drain them down in the winter to river level, is for the springtime floods. But I didn't catfish at the time. Now I know I should take a trip up there one day here this winter before they start letting them fill again, and you know, get a look at where the channel runs through there, anywhere that it'd be accessible from the bank, you know. Yeah, at least it ain't a pickle park. It's actually a pretty nice little park because it's so small that it doesn't attract a whole lot of people. mainly just, fishermen. Because I guess there's pretty decent walleye in here. I was sitting over catfishing this summer, and I don't know what I was thinking, but guys in a little cove there by me, and he caught a walleye. It had to be 18, 19 inches long, probably. And he bowed over and asked me if I wanted it. And I was like, nah, it's all right. I've never had one besides like at a restaurant. You know what I mean? I don't know why I didn't take that fish from that guy and take it home and clean it and flay it out. I just, about 20 minutes after he left it, I thought, what the heck were you thinking, dummy? But that's typical for me. It's kind of like you always think up the good comeback 10 minutes after somebody says something snotty to you. 10 minutes later, you think of a great comeback. I put new struts, had the whole front end rebuilt on this thing, and it still sounds crappy going over them little bumps. But I guess driving that Buick probably gets me a little spoiled, because that thing, it's like driving an Eldorado. It's just real smooth. But I'd have burned up a quarter tank of gas already in it. Come on, man. Did I bend it up too far? That's what I did. Okay, there we go. I know you have to see the mount thing a little bit, but it's just is what it is. But I ain't gonna complain. It's been a good little car. Got 201,388 miles on it. The best part is it's paid for. I don't have a car payment because I hate car payments. They ain't bad the first 6 months or so, but after that, you're like, oh, man. It's back in, oh, heck, I don't know. Probably, I lose track of the dates, but it would have probably been 06, maybe 07. I bought one of them little S10 Chevy Extreme trucks. And there's a whole thing of firewood right there. All we got to do is stop and get it. And the only reason I bought that Extreme is because it set so low I could load my dirt bike by myself. It looked cool too, don't get me wrong. It had all the ground effects and stuff like that. But, so that first 6 months or so making that payment ain't too bad. But 5 years later, 3 years later, because after a year at the time, real estate, it was before the real estate crash, so it had to be before 07. But, I was driving, I don't know how many miles a week going and seeing houses. And after 12 months, had so many miles on it, they wouldn't take it in on trade-in. I don't know what I was going to do. They got firewood for sale. Should you be so inclined as to camp? Gates had little doors locked, though, so I guess you ain't getting none right now. Oh, I like that idea, Buck. Good call on the roadkill thing. I like how you think. You got a guy stopped here. He must be writing campsite numbers down for next year. Because most of them's out here in the open. And only wooded ones are maybe 5 or 6 up here, it looks like. I haven't been here forever. None of them really got lake access, do they? And none of them very level neither. 32, 34. By golly, there's somebody camping up here. Huh. I'd have never figured. I didn't know there's a boat ramp here at the campgrounds. That's cool. Not that you could get a boat in right now because it's lake's down too low. This guy could be a serial killer and he's just out here hiding out. You never know, man. Stranger things have happened. You know, I wonder if they camp free this time of year. I'll bet he camps free right now. I wonder. Surely they wouldn't come and collect money off a guy in the wintertime. They're cutting a lot of trees down. I know that. Oh, that twisted. Them could have got knocked down in a storm. And then they come in and cut them out. Some strange bright orb shining in the sky. I don't know what this thing is. It'd be hot out here in the summertime in this part of the campground. I can't believe I've seen people. Hey, Henry Gradwell, England, cool. Martin's getting ready to come and hang out with us at CatCon. He's from England. I better let this car go by because he's going to want to go faster than I'm wanting to go. I can't believe I ain't seen a deer. My car's running on the battery right now. I just noticed. I think you got to get above 20 mile an hour for it to kick in. There it went. Yep. I should see how far it'll go on that battery like that one time. I have no idea. down there a little bit, buddy. You're driving too fast. I don't care if you work here or not. There is a speed limit sign. I wonder what makes them little breaks in the road like that. Like I said, it feels like you're riding across the whoop-de-doos on a supercross. Where my seatbelt go? There it is. You gonna go up there and check the fishing spot. Driving too fast? Dang. I can't believe the bumps, man. Yeah, they sound worse going fast, I reckon. Remind me later. Are you kidding me? Hey, Big Slim, how you doing, buddy? I just been out country cruising today. Walk down that trail right there. There's a good fishing spot about a quarter mile down there. Big enough for about 2 people to fish out of. This is where I done all my fishing this year if I was here. Straight out past this shelter house. If I got here real early, I'd drive down there and unload my gear and then drive back up. But if it was daylight, then I wouldn't do that. I'd put it in my little wagon thing, you know, and drag it down there, but that's a pain in the butt when you're fat and lazy like me. That shelter house saved my butt one day. Sitting down there fishing past it, and you could see the storm coming across the water back over there, and I was like, man, I don't really feel like going home yet. I no sooner got my stuff up under that shelter, and it rained so hard you couldn't see. I think I got video of it somewhere. I may even have it on YouTube. I don't remember. But I left my poles out. And sure enough, it's pouring rain. I look over, one of them poles just bouncing. I'm like, oh, you're kidding me. And yes, I went down and got it in the rain. And I think it was a 10-pound carp, come think of it. I think I got video of it. I don't remember. I'd never have my live on when I was fishing. If I need to do my Bible reading, I think I'll pull over on the north boat ramp over there and park and do that. You got a little Bible, or a Bible that's like a 1-year thing, start in January, and by the end of December you have read the whole thing. 'Cause I've never read the Bible cover to cover, and preacher gave it to me when I got baptized. I might even have the year in here. I don't know. Let me look. Yeah, guess I don't. I thought I had something written down in here somewhere. Just not. Yeah, it might say when it published, because it was new publication when I got it, I think. Let's see. '97. Tyndale covering, or Tyndale Publishers. It's a good one, man. I like the translation. If you ever get a chance, you're interested, that's the one. It's pretty decent as far as each day has a little overview before you read and stuff. And I probably got 6 or 8 Bibles, and this seems to be the one I got it so wore out I had to cover it in packing tape because the cover was falling apart. But I like it, so I keep using it, I reckon. Hey, 2058, how are you, man? Hand me down outdoors, how are you? You know, I tried to read it on my phone, and then I got a Kindle also, and man, I just can't do it. I got a Kindle with probably 80 books on it, and I figure someday when I'm old, I may be able to just use it, but I just cannot. I tried. I definitely can't read my Bible through it, but I noticed there's a lot of people at the church doing that these days. So I just started going back to church a couple of weeks ago. I hadn't went in a long while actually, and I tried. I can't do it. Now it's good for like if the preacher's up there and he says, we're going to go to James 3, chapter 3, verse 16 or whatever, and you can just tap in, I suppose. I don't know, and it takes you right to it. That I could think would be cool. Ice fishing? Yeah, buddy. We ain't got no ice here. Our water's still in the liquid status. And where you at? Angler 2058. Where you located at, man? I used to live up outside of Green Bay. Yeah, I got a phone call coming in. Hold on. I don't know how to do this. If I wonder if I mute it, would you still be able to hear the call? Can y'all hear that ringing? Well, if I hit mute, you probably won't be able to hear me talking if I make a call, will you? I don't know. I never had this happen. Y'all still there? Could you hear my phone conversation? If you could, I'm sorry. I told my buddy to watch what he said just in case. Somebody let me know if this thing's still working, all right? Because that's the first time I ever had that happen. Get a phone call while doing a live. Me and my buddy was going to go down to Watts Bar and go fishing this weekend, but we'll have to reschedule for next month for my birthday. A bunch of geese going north. Hey, fellas, it's too early to go up that way. Y'all might want to turn around and go back down there for a while. Don't let the warm weather last week fool you. Oh, cool. Thanks, hand me on. Like I said, I've never had that happen, so I didn't know what to do. Yep, we'll try to cruise around over to the north boat ramp and see what it looks like today. And that is the extent of this state park, actually. That's as big as it is. It ain't much. But that can be a good thing also. You know, because with Dad's cancer, I can't go real far from the house. So if I want to go fishing, these are the little places here, and that other lake's the only places I can go. And that way, if something happens with Pop, you know, Mom can call me and I can be back home in 25 minutes at the most. You know, we were talking about that the other night on someone's live that, you know, sometimes you just have to adapt your fishing to what your location provides you. Well, I wasn't going to catch a lot of catfish here where I'm at, so I started carp fishing. I seen the one guy carp fishing, and he's got a real long name, and I forget what it is, but he's from around here where I'm at. And I was like, well, that's a good idea. So I watched a couple of videos and, and I figured out how to do a little carp fishing. And I think the biggest one I caught this year was maybe like 12 pounds. But that guy I'm talking about, man, this dude catches horses. The carp he catches are huge. But at least I had fishing. You know what I mean? I had somewhere to fish, and you just have to adjust your expectations. It's kind of tough. You watch these guys catching them 30 and 40-pound blues, and you're like, oh man, I'd love to do that. But maybe use a little bit lighter pole and catch what you got. Now, there's some channels here, and there's 20 or 20-pound channels come out of them because I talked to the guys on the bait house and seen the picture. But you need to be in a boat, and this summer we'll be in a boat out here on this one and the other one. This one here you can use a trolling motor and get around the whole thing. Provided my battery's still good, I may go to lithium. I know they cost a lot, but man, they definitely work better and last longer than a regular lead acid battery does. But boy, that initial investment will sure reach up and grab the billfold, that's for sure. Wonder where that little road right there goes. I'll bet that comes out. Oh, it's just a little parking lot hiking trail. Somebody parked back there, probably getting high. It's a good little hiding spot. Yeah, I'd shot at them, but heck, then I'd have to go out and get them and clean them, and that would be what my pop would have said when I was a kid. We go out hunting, we gotta bring it all back home, clean everything. I used to laugh, and he's still that way. I don't care what it is you say you're gonna do, or buy, or plan, or whatever. He will tell you every negative thing that could happen with that situation. And I get so frustrated. I'm like, Pop, why you always got to pick out the negative stuff? What about the positives of that? And it'll always be the what if. Well, what if you buy it and this happens? And I'm like, well, what if I buy it and it doesn't happen then? Yeah, golly, this lake is way, way down. I'd have never dreamed they'd, let water out of this lake in the winter. I mean, it ain't super, super down, but it's down. Let's see if we pull over here in case someone comes driving through. That sun sure didn't last very long, did it? That boat ramp's a little steeper right there. Here's what I want to know. There's 2 seagulls out there. Okay. How on earth seagulls get all the way in the middle of the United States in Indiana? I've never figured that out. Because there's a whole bunch of them over at the other reservoir. And I'm like, what compels a seagull to fly from the ocean into Indiana? Kind of like, why would anybody move from someplace with giant catfish, like, say, the James River or something, to a place like this? Yes, what's the date today? Let's see, I'm 2 days behind on my daily devotional, looks like. Let's see. What is the date today? Oh, come on, you're killing me, Smalls. 27th. Okay. Anybody want to hear today's devotional? This is a pretty good little devotional book. Actually, it's not. It gives you a Bible quote, and then there's always a little story with it. So if you want to hear it, holler at me, and I'll read it to you. That's the daily devotional book. It's actually a really good one. Stand Strong, 365 devotions for men by men, our daily bread. So I'll read it to you whether you want to hear it or not. You can always go away, I reckon. January 25th. I'm 2 days behind, so this is the one from the 25th. I had a bad couple days. This is a good one. The only reason I'm going to read it to you. And it's titled Taking Risk, Acts 15, 7-26. And Acts 15, 25 and 26, it says, so we all agreed to choose some men and send them to you with our dear friend Barnabas and Paul, men who have risked their lives for the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. And then the story about taking risks says, in his book Stuntman, my car crashing, plane jumping, bone breaking, death defying Hollywood life, Hal Needham reflects on taking risk. Needham slugged it out in fistfights, raced cars at high speeds, walked on wings of planes, and even been set on fire. He risked his life to entertain the film audience. Paul and Barnabas were also men who have risked their lives, but their motivation was far different. Their goal was to exalt Christ through the preaching of the Gospels. As a missionary in the Roman Empire, Paul faced hazards that resulted in shipwrecks, beatings, persecution, imprisonment, just to name a few. That from 2 Corinthians 11, 22-30. Okay, just to name a few. But Paul was more than willing to take these risks to make Christ known. God's provided his Spirit to empower you and his words to make the message clear. Ask God for courage to speak up and witness for the Savior. Taking the risk will be well worth it. Yeah, you can feel that wind blowing out here. And that was my daily devotional to read for the 25th. I won't read the other ones to you because not everybody's into stuff like that. So I keep them to myself. The New River is south of me at Hand Me Down Outdoors. What state is that, did you say, Angler? The New River? You know, you can catch nice catfish, you know, up here north too, if you get the right water. I know Mark, catfish and crappies, he catches some nice big catfish. Oh, West Virginia, cool. I raced dirt bikes there in a place, Snowshoe, West Virginia. Cross country dirt bike racing. I've done it since I was a kid. And awesome race, hard race. Really cool place, a ski resort. And in the summer, one of the series puts on a race there every year, up and down the mountain. It's gnarly. I dig West Virginia. It's a beautiful state, man. My family's from Harlan, Kentucky area, which is real close to the Virginia, West Virginia, Kentucky border area there. Yeah, Angry, exactly. The GNCC. Yep. I went there. I forget what year it was because I'd never went to that one because it's a little too far away for me. From oh yeah, Blackwater 100. Okay, cool. You're old school. I like it. Yeah, I have two friends that race that. You know, the older guys I was talking. I don't know if you was here when I left the other lake. There's a small area on the south end of that lake that's set aside for dirt bike riding. And it's where I learned to ride dirt bikes back in '73. And two of them old guys that still go there riding every Sunday rode to Blackwater. Yeah, I raced GNCC in Florida, Georgia, and then I only went to Snowshoe once because it's a good haul for me over there. And the reason I wanted to go to that one is because they done the old Grand Prix style start on the road. Like each row had 5 bikes in it. Every 30 seconds they waved the flag. I was like, man, I gotta go. And that and it at the time it was considered the hardest GNCC they had. It was the closest to Blackwater you could get. And if you've never watched any of it, this last year's was a good one. You know, you can YouTube Snowshoe GNCC 2022 or whatever. It was pretty gnarly. It rained, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I did. That's what I done most of my life was race dirt bikes. I just bought a new bike in 21, I think it was. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll bet. See, and that's the thing. West Virginia is an awesome state. Actually, Racer Productions is located in West Virginia that puts the GNCCs on. They also publish Racer X magazine and are the promoters for the National Motocross Series. Davey Coombs, the guy who started the Blackwater 100 was his dad, Big Dave. He's passed now, but he started the Blackwater in that series. And for years, the AMA didn't really recognize the series, and now it's considered one of their national championships because it's the one they have here in the fall at Crawfordsville, Indiana. This last year, they had 2,300 riders. It was the best they can tell. It was the most entries in a single day dirt bike race in history. Yeah, Morgantown. Yep. Davey Coombs. The dude is a walking encyclopedia of motocross history. I listened to some podcasts with him. I'd love to sit around a campfire with him for a couple weekends just to hear stories. In fact, I went to the National Motocross race in Crawfordsville, and I talked to him on Instagram the week before. I'm a vet, and there weren't no vet tickets available. They were all sold, and I didn't know if they were sold out or they just weren't on the website. So I sent him a message on Instagram, and he said they were all gone. But he gave me his number and said to text him when I got there. So we get to the National Motocross race, and I text him, and he comes up the gate and picked me and my buddy up, took us back to the Racer production booth in the pits, and gave us, a lanyard with pit passes and stuff, and let us in free and everything for the day. And, that's the kind of guy he is. His dad would be real proud of him. Oh, it's starting to snow. There's a snow squall coming through. If I turn that way, you probably see it better. I don't think you can see it out that way. Darker background, you'll be able to see it better. Ow, crunching. Oh, really? What's his name? Never mind. You don't have to say it on here. Yeah, dude, you don't even want to get me started on dirt. I've been a dirt bike fanatic since 1973. It literally was my passion in life. But two shoulder reconstructions, 2 ACLs, knee surgeries, then a knee replacement, and another knee replacement in the making. And my actual racing days are done. I'll go ride some hare scrambles, and there's a local enduro here that's in the National Enduro Circuit that my family's rode. My uncle overalled it, 69, I think it is. And I'll go and ride that, but just for fun. I mean, I don't race no more. You know, if you've ever been a racer, you know, man, there's something clicks in your brain when the flag flies. And I couldn't, and I even tried this. I went to the GNCC one time, thought I'll just do the start because I like the excitement of the start. You know, it makes your heart beat. You almost want to throw up. And I ended up getting a good start. There was 43 bikes on my row, and I was like fourth going into the first turn. Now, granted, I was due to have shoulder surgery like 5 weeks later. Okay, this was already planned surgery, and so I told my girlfriend at the time I just go up and, you know, do the start because I really, really like it, and then I'll just ride for fun and ride the trails. You know, but when you're a racer, man, the flag dropped. I got a great start. Heck, I couldn't slow down. It's the best start I ever got in my life. You know what I mean? And it only took about 3 miles for me to clip a tree with my shoulder and remember why I wasn't supposed to be racing that day. Oh, that's awesome, man. It's so neat. A small world. I mean, from when I grew up as a kid to today, man, back then, for instance, I was the only kid that I knew in my school and probably in my town that rode and raced dirt bikes. You know, everybody else played the stick and ball sports. And the only race we ever got on TV was the Carlsbad Grand Prix, and it was on once a year and usually like a couple months after. It wasn't never live. You know, and now, in fact, I watch Supercross every Saturday, and I do the Pulp MX Fantasy League, the Supercross and the Motocross League. So you might say I'm still a little bit ate up with it. But because all them years and not really having any of that stuff besides Dirt Bike Magazine when I was a kid, I'll pay the money just so those people can keep bringing it like they do. You know what I mean? I'll support them. You know, the fantasy thing, I only do that because it supports the guy, Steve Mathis, that runs it. Used to be a mechanic, actually. It's Tim Ferry's mechanic. And I don't ever win anything in it. I've been doing it since they started it. And I pay I don't know, it's $30 a season. And then they have what they call the Industry Idiots League. You pay $100 to get in it, and it pays off a lot of money. But I pay into that one, but I don't ever win anything. And it's run on a handicap, you know. So, for instance, on the qualifiers on the Supercross race, you know, the top 5 or 6 guys, you know who they're going to be at every race, pretty much every qualifier. If you look at the lineup, well, you can't pick the same guy every week, so eventually you have to pick. You know, you pick by the handicap. Say if you pick a guy with a 12 handicap and he finishes 12th place, well, he scores first place points and they're doubled. Okay, so it actually makes you watch the racers further back in the pack as opposed to just the leaders, and it makes it more interesting. And that's all I got to say about dirt bike racing. I better stop. I told you, don't get me going. My girlfriend used to get so mad at me. We could be anywhere. I don't care if it was a flower show at the state fairgrounds, and I'd meet someone that knew dirt bikes, and I'd be there for an hour. Can y'all see that snow? That wind's kicking. Oh, I'll bet you do, man. If your kid raced, are you kidding me? Did y'all ever go to Loretta Lynn's? I'm sure you did. And I support the outdoor nationals more than I do Supercross for a simple fact. That's the heart of dirt bike racing in America. And you know, it takes a lot of talents to be an XS racer, but it takes a lot more work during the week to be a good outdoor racer. You know, late in the second moto of an outdoor national, you can tell who was putting the work in during the week because you can't fake that. Talent won't get you by on that. You know, that second 30-minute moto and it's 100 degrees out. If you ain't been training, you're going to show. It's going to show. I'm so glad it snowed. That makes it so much better. It ended up being perfect. And the best I know, this is just a squall that's coming through. I don't think we're supposed to really get any snow. Let's say 1 hour and 57 minutes. I'll shut this down at the 2 hour mark because I got to read my Bible stuff, or I'm going to be 4 days behind, and that's just wrong. My pastor will be all over me if he hears that. No, I'm kidding. He doesn't know I'm reading it. It's for me. You know, I'd gotten mad and stopped going to church about 20 years ago. And I can remember talking to people and saying, you know, man, I sure miss Jesus. And there are people who would understand that. That snow's going sideways out there. Jeez, boy, it'd be horrible to be stuck out in this today. But I started going back to my church I'd been going to. Pastor Tyner's a good guy. And I know some people don't believe in this stuff, and that's fine. To each his own. That's the great thing about America. But God was wearing on my heart, man. He just kept nagging. You get that overwhelming feeling that you had to do something. You know what I mean? And it just kept telling me I needed to go talk to him. And there wasn't really no reason. I mean, I hadn't talked to him in 20 years. He had nothing to do with me getting mad and leaving the church or nothing. The church was awesome. It was something entirely different. But finally, I ended up sending him an email and saying, hey, man, I need to talk to you. And I'm glad I did. Look at that snow. It's perfect. I suppose the blacktop's probably a little, I don't know. I don't think they wouldn't use no salt in here, but when it snowed the first time, because it had been like 40 degrees for a week before that, none of the snow really stuck on the blacktop. So then it all turned to slush. And like in my neighborhood, for instance, it's frozen on the road, icy slush. So you got to be kind of careful, but it's pretty interesting here. There goes DNR guy. They was checking the bathroom. I didn't know the bathroom was open. That's cool. So if you was to get stranded, you could always come here and sleep in the bathroom because it's got to be heated, I would assume. That or they were locking it up, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. Oh, 2 hours and 20 or 30 some seconds. Okay, guys, I appreciate everyone who come in and hung out today. I need to go read my daily stuff that I'm behind on. And I don't do this very often, so it's kind of nice to do. And hopefully we'll do it again soon. Hope everybody is today Friday? Yeah, it is, isn't it? So I hope everybody has a good weekend. Supercross on tomorrow. I think they're back in LA again. And there's a fishing tournament tomorrow morning, but I can't remember the channels that's hosting it. But if you look around, you'll find it. And hopefully I'll see you guys in some live later today or on the tournament tomorrow. It's good talking to you, Mr. Angler Man. I'll see you guys.